All right, let's talk self-care. It's everywhere. It's the new treat yourself. Bath bombs, expensive candles, those sheet masks that make you look like a startled ghost. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good face mask as much as the next anxiety-ridden millennial. But are these things really self-care, or are they just nice? This isn't to say a long bath is bad. It's great, but it's not a magic cure for a stressful life. It's like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. You're ignoring the actual problem, and the problem is, life can be a real dumpster fire sometimes. We're sold this idea of self-care as an escape. But what happens when the bathwater goes cold? What happens when you have to re-enter the real world, the one with deadlines and bills and existential dread? It's time to face a harsh truth. Real self-care isn't always glamorous. It's not always about indulgence. Sometimes it's about discipline, about doing the hard things that make your life better in the long run. We live in a culture obsessed with instant gratification. Want something? Order it online, it'll be here in 2 days. Feeling down? Binge watch a show, eat a tub of ice cream. We're conditioned to avoid discomfort at all costs. And look, I get it. Sometimes you just need to numb out, but constantly using these surface-level treats as your only form of self-care, that's a recipe for disaster. It's like building a house of cards on a foundation of jelly. It might look pretty for a minute, but it's not going to end well. Eventually, the wind blows, the jelly melts, and your whole self-care house collapses. So, what's the alternative? How do we build a self-care routine that actually works? One that doesn't crumble at the first sign of stress? Buckle up, because it's time to talk about the not-so-fun, but ultimately way more effective side of self-care. Real self-care is about looking your problems in their ugly little faces. It's about addressing the root causes of your stress, not just slapping a temporary fix on them. Think of it like this. Surface-level self-care is like taking painkillers for a broken leg. It masks the pain, but the problem remains. Real self-care? That's going to therapy, doing the physical therapy, and putting in the work to heal properly. What does this look like in practice? It can be setting boundaries with toxic people, even if it's uncomfortable. It can be going to therapy and unpacking all that emotional baggage you've been lugging around. It can be establishing healthy habits, like exercising regularly, eating nutritious foods, and getting enough sleep. These things might not be as instantly gratifying as, say, eating an entire cheesecake. But trust me, they'll pay off in the long run. Let's talk about social media, shall we? Because let's be honest, it's not exactly a haven of realistic self-care representation. Open Instagram, and you're bombarded with images of perfectly toned people meditating in luxurious locations, sipping green smoothies from mason jars. It's enough to make even the most well-adjusted person feel inadequate. And that's the problem. Social media often presents a curated, filtered version of self-care, one that's designed to sell you something. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if your self-care routine doesn't involve a private yoga retreat in Bali, you're doing it wrong. Here's the truth. Real self-care is not about achieving some picture-perfect ideal. It's about taking care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. It's about prioritizing your well-being, even when it's messy and inconvenient, and doesn't involve a single avocado toast. Okay, so we've established that real self-care is important, but it's not always glamorous. But what does it actually look like in practice? How do we ditch the surface-level stuff and embrace the real deal? First things first, consider therapy. I know, it can feel like a big step, but think of it like going to the dentist for your mental health. We all need a checkup sometimes. Therapy provides a safe space to unpack your baggage, work through challenges, and develop coping mechanisms. It's not about fixing you. It's about giving you the tools to manage life's inevitable curveballs. And hey, if therapy isn't your thing, there are other ways to prioritize your mental health. Meditation, journaling, spending time in nature. These are all great options. The key is to find what works for you and make it a regular part of your routine. Section 6, Small Steps, Big Impact. Building a sustainable self-care routine. Now let's talk about building a self-care routine that's actually sustainable. Because let's be real, nobody has time for a 3-hour self-care extravaganza every day. The good news is, real self-care doesn't have to be time-consuming or expensive. It's about incorporating small, meaningful changes into your daily life. Start small. Instead of scrolling through social media before bed, spend 15 minutes reading a book. Swap that sugary latte for a glass of water. Take a walk during your lunch break. These small changes might seem insignificant, but they add up over time. And the best part? They're not about deprivation or punishment. They're about making choices that make you feel good, both physically and mentally. Section 7. No filters needed. Embracing the messiness of real self-care. Here's the thing about real self-care. It's not always pretty. There will be days when you don't want to meditate, when you'd rather eat a whole pizza than a salad, when the last thing you feel like doing is going for a run. And that's okay. Self-care isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's hard. It's about giving yourself grace and compassion, even when you mess up. Remember, you're a work in progress, and that's perfectly fine. Self-care is a journey, not a destination. There will be bumps in the road, but that's okay. Just keep moving forward, one step at a time. Section 8. The power of no setting boundaries for a happier you. Let's talk about boundaries. No, not the lines you shouldn't cross with your in-laws at Thanksgiving. We're talking about personal boundaries, those invisible lines that protect your time, energy, and well-being. Setting boundaries can be tough, especially if you're a people pleaser, but it's crucial for real self-care. Saying no to things that drain you, to commitments that leave you feeling depleted, is not selfish. It's self-preservation. Boundaries are like the bouncers at the nightclub of your life. They decide who gets in and who gets turned away. And guess what? You get to be the bouncer. You get to decide who and what deserves your precious time and energy. Section 9. Self-care. Not a luxury, a necessity. Here's the bottom line. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not selfish, it's essential for living a healthy, balanced, and fulfilling life. It's about making a conscious effort to prioritize your well-being, even when life gets hectic. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion you would extend to a loved one. It's about recognizing that you deserve to feel good, both physically and mentally. And it's about committing to making choices that support your overall health and happiness. So, ditch the guilt, forget the Instagram-worthy facade, and embrace the messy, imperfect, but ultimately incredibly rewarding journey of real self-care. Your future self will thank you for it.